Hello, I'm Casey Aiken, and this is 21 This Week. Coming up next, did the third and final presidential debate change voter opinions of the candidates? What were the biggest surprises coming out of the debates? And is there or is there not voter fraud? Our panel of insiders will give you the story behind the story. We're joined by the Dean of Democratic Politics, Sam Statland, Republican activist, Jerry Cave, Second Vice Chairman of the Montgomery County Republican Central Committee, Dwight Patel, and education activist, Cynthia Rubenstein. These stories and more on the next 21 This Week. For a presidential race that many political insiders declared all but over, a record number of viewers, 67 million in fact, tuned in Wednesday to watch the final debate between former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and businessman Donald Trump. Sam, some odds makers say it's a 93% chance that Hillary Clinton will win the election. But does the fact that so many viewers tuned in Wednesday suggest that there may be, just maybe, many undecided voters who can be moved and persuaded over the next 2 weeks?
Well, Casey, the figure is actually 96% as of this afternoon. And people tuned in for the show because they wanted to have a good evening of entertainment. They certainly didn't hear anything political. They certainly didn't hear any really substantial changes of what these guys have been saying before. So it was strictly entertainment, and that's what drew the audience, which is what Mr.
Let
Trump
me ask you
is going to
this,
draw in.
Sam. Since both candidates have such high negatives, don't you think there's some people who are really still trying just to feel out which of the bad choices they want to make?
When you have a race where where you're going to select the best of the worst, I think people will kind of lean towards the end. But when you look at all the polls, the national poll reads close. But the in-state 5 or 7 contested races, in 3 of them, there might as well be even, but in the rest, Hillary has far surpassed Donald. And when you look at the Electoral College and the count, Hillary will be our next president.
Well, you just stole the lead, Sam, because Cynthia, there are many who predict that Donald Trump will do worse in the Electoral College than did Mitt Romney, and Mitt was a loser. Why is it?
Well, there have been demographic changes, and in states like Colorado, that is becoming more and more dependably Democrat, as well as Virginia. He's doing worse in Utah due to the rise of some third-party candidates that voters are considering over him. He's only doing better than Mitt in Ohio and Iowa. He's doing worse in North Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin. He's been bashing Paul Ryan. That doesn't help him in Wisconsin. There are a myriad of reasons that he's doing worse than Romney.
And we have to mention Maine and New Hampshire.
And Maine and, yeah.
Well,
Indeed.
why don't you just pile on here, Sam? Just hold on. Let's see what Dwight has to say. Dwight's a newcomer to our panel. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And in the run-up to the debate, the news was dominated once again about Donald Trump and all of the bad things he's done, the leaked video footage from Access Hollywood. And even though there were plenty of stories about Hillary Clinton, the daily WikiLeaks drip that shows that Hillary received some of the debate questions from CNN before it hosted a debate. It also had Mrs. Clinton disparaging Catholics, promoting open borders, and having the State Department doing little favors for friends of Bill. Now, why are those stories being ignored?
Well, as my old boss, Reed Irvine at Actors CMU would say, it's because of the media biases. If Donald Trump had the 3 major networks and the 2 of the 3 cable networks on his side, he'd be up 10, 15 points. And going back to the point is that if Hillary was really going to run away with it, why is she not further up? She's only inches ahead in the national polls. I think because of the Democrats' policies of demonizing Trump supporters, there's a lot of people that are lying to the pollsters. They will come out and vote for Trump. And it might be another John Kerry moment like in 2004 when everyone thought John Kerry was going to be the next president, and look what happened.
All right, Jerry, this question came from one of our viewers who called me and specifically requested that you be asked this question. With his need to attract female voters, why would Trump call Hillary Clinton a nasty woman in the last debate, and will it hurt him to have done so?
I think this whole idea of pandering to women is insulting to women, and it's ignorant. Women don't want to hear some specific message to them. They want to hear where the candidate's coming from. And Donald Trump has been completely consistent for 30 years that he wants to rebuild the country. He said these things forever. And the man, if he's anything, he is sincere. If there's anything that Hillary Clinton is not, the woman is utterly insincere.
Yes, Donald
What
is sincere.
You know what? I
He's
listened to. I
sincere
have very
about telling
quietly
that
listened to
women-
you, Cynthia. So you can now do the same for me.
No.
What Hillary
I'm
wants
jumping
to
out of
do
my
are
seat.
what women in this country want are jobs for themselves, their spouses, and their children, and a better future. What Donald Trump offers is that. What Hillary Clinton offers is not that, because she can't and she's not interested in it. She wants to extend our borders down to Antarctica,
Jerry,
which will destroy our economy.
You're missing the point of the question.
I didn't miss the point of the
The
question.
point of the question.
I answered
the
it.
Point of the point of the question.
No,
the point of the question is why, when Trump has demonstrated an attitude towards women that many women find upsetting and repulsive, would he continue that
Why are you
behavior?
asking me that
Cynthia,
question
I wanna
when,
ask
when
you-
Hillary
I
has had a
wanna
much
ask-
more damaging
since you didn't-
actions toward women?
Since you
Such
didn't answer
as-
the question,
Such
I'm gonna-
as-
wait a minute,
as-
hold
I
on,
wanna-
guys.
I
Such
wanna
as
address the
demonizing
nasty
and
woman
intimidating the
Jerry.
victims of his sexual
Jerry.
predations by her husband.
Jerry,
You know-
hold on. Sam, hold on.
I wanna-
Cynthia's got the floor.
I want to talk about the nasty woman comment. It has absolutely backfired on Trump. There are women across the United States that are adopting the tag nasty woman. I'm a nasty woman and I vote. There are t-shirts now for nasty women. So actually, Donald Trump may have given women voters a gift by calling Hillary Clinton.
I think
thought
this is
that
a
Paul
pathetic
Joey's
imitation
up
of our
5%
great
in
job
the
on the
polls.
deplorables. We have a lot more deplorables than you have
Sam.
nasty women.
No educated woman is supporting him. He's losing women like crazy. He's
droves.
using young women. He's using millenniums. He's losing everyone.
What I
and
want
coming
every-
back to your point that you were making a few minutes ago about
got that
why
list.
they cover the issues of Trump versus Clinton, because they get higher ratings with Trump. It's the media. It's media.
No, it's the
No,
media
that's-
is colluding.
It's
Hold
a
on.
show.
Wait a minute.
It's
Oh,
all
wait a
over
minute.
the
Wait,
show.
listen.
Get out of here. The race is
Sam,
over. Now we're going
Sam,
on ratings.
I want to hear from Dwight.
Okay, first of all, let's ask Paula Jones how great Hillary was for women. Let's ask Jennifer Flowers how great Hillary is for
let's
women.
stick to this election and this
It
time.
is this
and-
election.
It's not this
He's talking
election.
about
It's a
the way
pattern.
she
It is a
intimidated
pattern
women.
that the Clintons have
Actions,
had
not just a couple of
destroy
comments.
Their enemies. Vince Foster.
Let me just suggest something to my Republican friends here on the set. Nobody is listening to what you're saying.
No one.
No. The media
media.
is not listening, and
No,
you think
no.
anybody's
The voters-
listening.
the
I'm
voters-
on the internet
what
talking
vote-
to a couple of
what
million
voters are
people,
listening to
and the
you?
crowdsourcing is all over this.
Do you really think that this is a winning issue?
You brought up a minor issue, and I'm doing the best I can to help you with it.
Excuse
One more
me.
thing. And
Now
with
it's
One
Excuse
comment is a
me.
minor
There
issue.
are more registered
Go,
voters
Cynthia.
who are women than there are
That's not what I
men.
said. The comment he brought up is the minor issue, not women as a
Cynthia,
voter
okay.
pool.
his comment
Okay.
about educated women voting for Hillary, that's that Democrat elitist mentality saying that only uneducated dopes
It's a
are gonna vote
Democratic,
Well,
it's a
let's get off
Democrat
this.
reality
Let's get-
that
let's
get-
educated women are
constituency
voting
that
for
you guys
Hillary
have.
Clinton.
Let's get back, and Dwight, I'll ask you.
Sure.
So, I mean, the predictions are, and you heard Sam say, 96% that the election is in the bag for Hillary Clinton.
I believe the Chicago Tribune said that.
Why
to
do you
Dewey.
agree with that?
Why do I agree?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Why not?
I think, first of all, I don't think the polls are accurate. Two, I think what's happening is people, when pollsters call, they're afraid to say that I'm a Trump supporter just to be belittled, because that's what happens. I know a number of people who've had Trump signs in front of their yards set on fire in Montgomery County. You call the cops, they go, oh, it's hardly a misdemeanor, and they do nothing about it. I think people are afraid to publicly say they're supporting
All right,
Trump.
so I want to ask Jerry.
And they're afraid because they
this
don't
is
want to
the
be
exit
identified
question,
by their
Jerry.
neighbors as a bigot.
Do you really think that there's enough hidden support for Donald Trump that'll make a difference? You got 30 seconds.
That's not the point. The point is this: when Barack Obama was on the ticket, there was tremendous enthusiasm for the Democratic Party, and they won. When he's not on it, there's not. All the polling that Sam is worshiping as if it came out down from the mountain with Abraham is all from biased polling data and samples. And I don't have enough time, but in my parting shot, I will fully explain why Sam is wrong, and I, of course.
All right. Well,
Join Dwight
this
and
is
I'm right.
This is going to be fascinating to hear Jerry's analysis at the end of the show.
It's a tease to the
Because
end of the show. It's good for
when we come back
ratings.
from this short break, what were the biggest surprises coming out of the debates? Stay tuned. And welcome back. Cynthia, for the most part, the debate performances of both Mrs. Clinton and Mr. Trump were predictable. What was the most surprising thing that you heard and took away from the debate?
Well, there are actually two things. The first thing was that Donald Trump stayed on message for about 30 minutes before he imploded and lost his cool. The second thing was, of course, the takeaway from the entire debate, which was about his playing coy with whether or not he would accept the election results if he did not win. So those, I would say, were my two surprises.
Well, I'm going to have to find out why that was such a big deal, because Dwight, over the last 48 hours, there has been outrage that Donald Trump might refuse to concede the election, and having rushed to rewrite the history of 2000 to mitigate Al Gore doing the same thing. Hillary Clinton and many others have screamed for years, not selected, not elected, while challenging the legitimacy of the 2000 election. And is this fake outrage?
Yes, it is. They're still outraged about 2016 years later. They're still talking about how Bush stole the election in Florida. And even though every single recount had George W. Bush winning, and that's what burns
But
Democrats.
what's the point with Mr. Trump saying that he was not going to accept the election results?
Actually, what Mr. Trump said was he'll let them know. He will, of course, he's going to accept the results of the election, unless there's some crazy, funny business. Like let's say dead people voting. Like right now, Virginia has got today is their deadline. I could sit at my house, register, become a Virginia voter, use a Virginia address. There's no verification, and I could vote in Virginia. And I could vote in Maryland, just like that Democrat who ran in CD1 a couple
Well,
years ago.
we're going to talk about voter fraud in a
vote
minute.
that way in
Jerry,
Maryland.
what was your biggest takeaway from the debate?
Well, as usual, Donald Trump had to do double duty. He had to do the media's job, too, because they have not reported on all the revelations that have come out of the emails from WikiLeaks and on the video. And probably the most disgusting was the way that Hillary Clinton was saying disparaging comments about Muslims, about Catholics, about Latinos. But she saved her worst commentary for the black community by calling the men super predators and calling black people professional ne'er-do-wells. Donald Trump wants to run to make America great again, and it seems like Hillary wants to run to make America hate again.
Sam, what was your takeaway from the debate?
I agree 100% with Cynthia. I think the biggest thing is to announce publicly the way he did, not after elections during a recount or the result of a recount, that you would not support a free and open election in this country. And to me, some of the stuff that he said has led to the point where I think people are being incited to riot. I actually think he's bordering on criminality in some of this stuff.
Let
your
me
side,
say
though.
one more thing about
Your side is the
Your
one that has
side
incited
is
riots.
riots.
Your side has
No.
video talking about inciting the riot, and the guy who did it's
This
been in the
was
White
a-
House
this was-
more often than a person who works there.
Focus on a presidential nominee.
No,
stating-
you just said inciting the
stating-
riot. Your person did it.
We're talking about a bigger picture here. We're talking about the guy
We're
running
always
for president.
talking about a
wait a
different
minute.
picture when
Guy
you guys get
running for
caught.
I want to
Listen.
hear from Sam.
Guy running for
hold on,
president.
guys.
Yeah, I
I want to hear from
wanna-
Cynthia.
I'm gonna bring up 2
say
points.
he
I
would
wanna bring up
support
2
an
points.
open and free election. And if
Cynthia.
you think
Yeah.
that we're not having in this country an open and free election, you're really, really out of touch.
Cynthia.
Al Gore did not, in his campaign, complain about rigged elections and
Ahead
rigged
of time.
elections and rigged elections. Yes, he contested a very, very, very narrow victory with some irregularities. This was ruled. He graciously accepted the results
30 days
at the
later.
end.
30 days later.
Dutifully accepted, and we had a peaceful transfer of power.
Correct, which we've
Donald
always
Trump
had.
his rhetoric
Always.
is trying to set up something that would not bring us a peaceful transfer of power. And the
Well, wait a
second
minute, where do
thing,
you hear that?
It is sad that
I
you
mean, I'm
believe that.
sorry. I mean, I want to be fair to both sides here, but where did you hear that in what he said?
Oh, a lot of
Oh.
people heard that. It's
No,
a
they didn't hear that.
Everybody heard
Say it.
that.
No,
The
Why
day
do you think it's
after-
there? Why do you think people are so upset about it?
That,
day
you know what?
after
Casey,
he
you got to let me
said-
in.
And the
This
He
is-
media
said, I
came
will
in and
accept the
covered it because
results
that is
only if
news.
I win.
Talk about riots.
I will accept the results
No,
only if
Does
I
anybody
win.
understand how utterly crazy this conversation is?
Project
The
Civitas.
Democratic Party in black and white in emails that have never been refuted by anybody on your side, videos that have never been refuted by anybody anywhere, have documented, not allegations.
Let's pick
we're
those
talking
videos apart.
we're talking
The guys
evidence,
that did the videos
documentation
were fired.
of rigging
They
the
were-
election
they didn't-
with Bernie Sanders
They were
and
not
trying to
working
rig
for
this.
Hillary's
and
campaign.
instead of asking the
Let's
Democrats about
I
rigging
wanna
the elections,
refocus.
they're asking the Republicans
I
who
feel
has
like
done
I'm at one of
nothing
the
wrong.
presidential
Hold on.
And you
debates
want
right
him to
now.
accept
Bernie
defeat.
is a great example of somebody running a contested race. Who in the
We're
end,
not talking about
when he
contested.
lost,
We're talking about
said
rigging.
he would
And you're asking
back
the wrong-
nominee of the party.
You're asking the wrong
in the
people.
Same context
They
we're
should be
saying.
asking the
Wait a
American
minute.
people if they're
I
going to
wanna-
accept
Jerry,
having another election
Jerry,
rigged by the Democrats.
Jerry, calm down here. Listen, Bernie challenged during his primary. He kept saying that the Democratic National Committee was working and trying to rig the election for Hillary Clinton.
He did, and after the process, he supported and is supporting Hillary like a loyal American
Like a loyal
would do.
Democrat.
You
All
know,
right,
it's unbelievable.
I wanna-
Sam-
wait a minute,
Sam-
guys.
And that
we
should-
gotta
that's
finish.
what
We
Trump
gotta wrap.
should do.
Wait a minute. We got to wrap it up. We got to go on to our next topic, which is about voter fraud. There seems to be a lot of allegations about voter fraud, and the question is whether if the race is as close as some feel it is, whether voter fraud will be the determinative factor in many of these races. I want to go to you, Sam, on this first. Why do you think, or is there a possibility that there's any voter fraud in Maryland?
Listen, I was past president of the Montgomery County Board of Elections when we brought out the first electronic touchscreens, which were brought out by, as we all know, by Diebold. And I'm the one who exposed that equipment nationally for all of its deficits, which led to our current system, which, as Mr. Shalek said, it's impossible to have a dishonest election in the state of Maryland. It is absolutely impossible. And the same thing is true through all the generations of this equipment. And nationally, when you look at the figures, you're talking a few instances where a few thousand people were prosecuted for election fraud
I wanna-
out of the millions and millions of people who have voted over the year.
All right,
It's a non-issue.
So, Jerry, as Sam just said, it seems to be a non-issue. Your side continually brings up the fact that you believe that there's voter fraud. There was the Attorney General of Texas is conducting an investigation right now into it. The people in Indiana conducted an investigation and found that there was nothing there but allegation. So isn't your side just trying to tarnish the results of this election by bringing up false allegations of voter fraud?
Well, apparently I'm the only person up here that still lives in the state of Maryland. The rest of you seem to have moved to the state of denial. And you're using the word allegations, and what we're talking about here is evidence. They got a kid down in Virginia that registered 19 dead people, and he was a Democrat. We have the emails that are full of all kinds of voter fraud and rigging of the election with Bernie Sanders, and maybe Bernie's okay with it because he got bought off. But I want to tell you something. You go online and you see his supporters, they are totally down with him and her for this. And you got videos.
They're not.
You have evidence. You have video and emails in black and white. And none of your people have bothered to deny any of this. They go, oh, it's been here by the Russians, which means they
What are
know
we
it's
talking
true.
about?
What are you
Evidence
talking about?
of rigging the election.
What are you talking
Who?
about
What are you talking about?
specifically? I
Jerry.
don't know what you're talking
You
about.
got a guy who's
Jerry,
talking about
let's-
starting.
let's
you have a
just
guy
talk
that.
about-
Wait a second. You have a guy who's been in and out of the White House 340 times, and if you haven't seen the video, you guys are living in an ulterior universe. That this guy talked about how to create violence
That
at the
guy
thing.
was
Oh,
a
that guy doesn't
rogue-
count.
Excuse me.
He doesn't
Wait a
count.
second.
He was getting paid.
Jerry,
He's in and out of the
equal
White
time.
House.
I know it's
Equal
different.
We
time.
haven't seen that kind
Hello,
of.
boys.
Equal
We
time.
haven't seen that kind of
Boys and
street
girls.
thuggery since Germany in the
Can we
1920s.
focus
right.
on the question and not all the rest of the
Yeah,
BS that you're
there's
coming up with?
evidence
Jerry.
of rigging the election.
Jerry.
Virginia is a great example. So the guy did the registration and he registered the 900 dogs.
You think that's the only guy that
No,
got, because
no,
he got caught?
no.
He's the only
But
guy that
point-
did it.
No,
Easy.
the point is
Let him
is
say.
that he did get caught because the system will catch voter fraud.
You
Just
don't
like
know.
here
You
in
know
Maryland.
anything about law enforcement?
Get
If you
outta
think, well,
here.
somebody gets caught the first time they do something.
Dwight.
Yes. Democrat Party has a long history of voter fraud. Go back to 1960 West Virginia primary between Hubert Humphrey and John F. Kennedy.
You have to go
Let's bring
way
it in
back.
Okay,
this century.
Ellen
Can we come
Sauerbrei
to the
versus
modern age?
Ellen
where-
Sauerbrei versus
Look, in the
Paris
modern
Landry.
age,
Can you
can't
let the man talk?
afford this equipment.
Sam, Ellen Sauerbrei versus Paris Landry in 1994. I remember
No
that.
equipment. It was
Will you
paper
stop acting
ballot.
like Jerry
and there
Cave
was
and let the
there was
man
a
talk?
trunk found in Baltimore City where it was full of ballots, and Ross Pierpont has
All right.
documented that.
So,
So we talk about evidence out there, and you guys dismiss
That's
it.
why we
Great.
changed the
I gotta go to
election
break.
system
I gotta go to
to
break.
prevent that, and it
Guys.
does prevent that.
Sam.
It does not.
And
And you guys are the ones
right.
doing the rigging.
They did to George Allen.
We're going to break, so stay tuned for Parting Shots. This is going to be fun. And welcome back. Now with Parting Shots, Sam Statland.
First, I want to give you guys each one of these. Phil, just
Are you,
pass
are you
these
trying to
over.
buy me off, Sam?
Just please pass.
Are you
these
trying to
over.
buy me off?
No.
It's a
Alrighty.
locker.
Folks, this is
I
my
am not
Jerry.
saying.
This
Come on,
is my
Jerry.
personal invitation.
Team player.
It's a
Team
locker.
player.
Inviting all of these guys to the Democratic Victory Party on November 8th here in the county. And secondly, we have to support an honest and open election in this county, which is run by thousands of workers who go to and work in our polls, putting in 14-hour days to make sure that we have an honest and fair election. And I assure you that we do. Vote early. Come out to Montgomery County and vote, please.
Thank you, Sam. Cynthia Rubenstein, your Parting Shot.
Okay, well, my parting shot is about news sources that we need in Montgomery County. When we lost the Gazette, we've been waiting for journalists to step up and give us new news outlets. Josh Kurtz, who is an elder statesman of political columnists in Maryland, is starting a new news site called Maryland Matters. He is holding a fundraiser on Monday night with Chris Saliza, for those of you who are news and political news junkies. And the second news site is taking place in Silver Spring. It's called Source of the Spring. It's being started by Mike Deagle and another partner to bring people up to date on local news and lifestyle. So to add to the Montgomery County media piece of community and political news.
Thank you, Cynthia. Dwight Patel, your first Parting Shot.
Sure. Lee's talk about campaign on the show today, but big surprise is headed in the CD6 race. I just saw a poll today where John Delaney's only up by 3 points. Ami Hober is going to bring this home for the Republicans. John Delaney bought a congressional seat twice. He's going to try and buy the governorship, but he's not going to do it because he's going to be defeated this November.
Thank you. And Jerry Cave, your Parting Shot.
Oh, I can't think. So the people that are bringing you the polling information are the same people in the media that are lying you in their reportage and their editorial section, and that also in the last election said we're off by 14 percentage points in the Hogan election, 10 points off in the Virginia Senate, and 6 points off in the Iowa Senate. Why? Because they're assigning the enthusiasm that the Democrats had in Obama's election. They did it to the midterms, and they're doing it to this election. Obama's not on the ticket this time, and the enthusiasm is on our side. We're starting to see that. And what you see in the metrics are that Trump has had more people at his events, more media coverage, more social media, and more donors. People are giving small donations to a billionaire. That's called enthusiasm. That is why those polls are wrong and why we are going to win. And when I say we, I mean America in this election.
Thank you, Jerry. I want to thank the panel for a very lively and spirited debate. There's still a lot of division, you can see, and I hope that the division it gets healed after the election. I want to thank the audience for tuning in each and every week to Montgomery County's hardest hitting political talk show. For 21 this week, I'm Casey Aiken.
I think we should all